everyone, here's a foundation routine using all drugstore products, including the brushes. This was very requested because usually even in my drugstore makeup tutorials, I tend to use my more expensive brushes, and a lot of you guys were like, you should try to find some drugstore brushes for these types of tutorials. So I went out and I picked a couple, and every single thing I use in this video is available readily at drugstores and very easy to find. So I show you guys how I do this look right now. The first thing you're going to do when you wake up is wash your face and then apply a little bit of a moisturizer. And then the first product we're going to use is the L'Oreal Studio Secrets Magic Perfecting Base. I love this stuff. I've become a huge fan of it. It's this really pretty light pink color that I feel like gives me a little bit of glow underneath my foundation. You can put this on your entire face if you want, but it's about $12 for this little pot. It's kind of pricey for drugstore, so I only put it on the areas of imperfections on my face that I feel like I need it. So I just put my ring finger into it a little bit, and I put it on the areas that I feel like need a little bit of extra coverage. So I put it right around my cheeks where I have some acne scarring from when I was a teenager. This stuff feels so nice on your skin. It's kind of thick and it just gives it like a really smooth layer. So if you have any like acne scarring or texture differences or any areas that you feel like your foundation might slide off of easily, so I put a little bit on my forehead. My foundation tends to splotch up here. And then just a tiny bit on my chin. And then I also put a tiny bit right where I put my highlight color. And this just, I feel like it just gives me a little bit of a glow. I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but I feel like I'm just a little bit, I think it's the pink color kind of coming through, I think just gives a really pretty glow. Then I'm going to take the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. The color I'm using is 10 Light. And I'm just going to put a little bit of this under my eyes. Then I'm just blending it out using really light strokes with my Essence of Beauty double-sided. This is the concealer side. And it's just going to help conceal all of my dark circles and give it an extra layer of coverage underneath my foundation. If there are any other areas on your face that you feel like needs just a little bit extra coverage, you can spot treat with this concealer as well. And this concealer blends out really easily, so it's a pretty good drugstore pick for concealer. It's good for underneath your eyes and for any spot treatments that you have. For foundation, I'm going to use my new favorite foundation, which is L'Oreal Magic Smooth Soufflé. This stuff is amazing, especially for drugstore. Plus, the packaging is kind of cute. It's in this really pretty glass bottle with a pink top. I feel like it just looks pretty, the packaging. This product and this product are what inspired this entire video because I have been using these over my more expensive products for the last couple of weeks. I love these products together so much. So this product, I'm using the shade 520 Creamy Natural, and I'll show you, it looks so dark. Look how dark that looks. That looks like that would never be my color. But I have to tell you guys, if you are wanting to buy this foundation, this runs dark, or light. It looks darker than it is. This stuff blends out so easily. I'll show you. So I'm going to put just a little bit on the other side of my Essence of Beauty brush. And when I first put it on my cheek, you guys are going to flip. You guys are going to think it's so dark, but watch. Okay, so that's like really dark for me, right? But it blends out so well, and it will blend right into my skin and be the perfect color. Look at that. That is amazing. I love it. It gives me just a little bit of color, which I think is perfect for the summer. It's kind of like a bronzer and a foundation in one. If you are wanting to get this foundation, I would definitely recommend swatching them in the store if you can, because you're most likely going to be a color that's darker than what you think you should be. And there's not a ton of colors available, but there are definitely at least like 12, maybe more colors. This foundation has not broken me out at all, and I have pretty sensitive skin, so I tend to react adversely to a lot of products, especially drugstore products. I tend to kind of have allergic reactions or break out from them. The only weird thing about this foundation is the color, like I said. You're definitely going to have to kind of test out your color, and I feel like because it blends so easily, you probably have a range of colors that would work for your face. This is probably the darker side of what works for me, but for summer, it's really gorgeous. It kind of gives me that glow, that kick, that little boost up a little bit. I think for the winter, I'd probably go down a couple of shades. One thing to note though is that this foundation is a little bit drying, and I have really, really dry skin. So if I can wear it, even dry skin people can wear it. But I think that if you had oily or combination skin, this foundation would be really great for you. I kind of balance it out by not using a setting powder because I find the setting powders just dry me out a little bit further, but I'm going to use one for the sake of this tutorial to show you guys how I would use it and what I would use if I was to use a setting powder, so that if you have oily or combination skin, I would definitely use this step. And if you have dry skin, you can kind of figure it out for yourself whether you need to use this, or if you can just use the foundation. But I'm going to use the CoverGirl Professional Loose Powder in 105 Translucent Fair. Any translucent loose powder that you have would work. I like loose powder for setting more than pressed powder, if you guys are wondering. This has a cute little puff that comes with it. I love little puffs. I'm going to use an EcoTools Fluffy Powder Brush, and I'm going to get this on the brush, tap off any extra, and then I'm just going to press it onto my skin. Any areas that might be a little oily, so extra on the forehead and the nose area. And after I kind of press it in, then I'm going to take one more kind of loose, just a little bit, and I'm just going to kind of blend it all out. And this is going to give a really, really fine layer of powder over your foundation so that you don't look cakey, but that you do have that setting if you need it. Like I said, if you have really dry skin, you probably won't need this step, but for those of you with oily or combination skin, you might want just that little bit of setting powder so that you don't get oily. Next, I'm going to do just a little bit of contouring. So I'm using the Physicians Formula Magic Mosaic Light Bronzer and another dual-sided Essence of Beauty brush. I'm going to use the angled side for this. And I'm just going to get a little bit on my brush, tap it off, and I'm going to put it right into the hollows underneath my cheekbones. So if you don't know where that is, make a fish face. And it's right there, right underneath your cheekbone. And after a while, you'll just learn where this is and you won't have to make that face, but don't be shy if you have to make that face, because I had to make it for a while until I really learned where mine was. And this is really going to make your cheekbones pop if you don't have very prominent cheekbones. So just really blend in the hollows of your cheeks, and then we're going to do just a little bit more right on your temples. So right here. And this is where your face is naturally shaded. So by exaggerating it a little bit, you're just going to make your face look a little bit more sculpted and gorgeous. Okay, for cheeks, I'm going to use the Maybelline Dream Mousse Blush. The color I'm using is 10 Pink Frosting. They had a peach one that I really wanted, but they were out of stock. So I got the pink one, but the pink one's pretty too. Any color that you feel will look good on your skin tone, you can use. I'm just going to get a little bit on my finger and put it right on the apples of my cheeks. And this stuff blends out really well, really easily as well. It's kind of like the foundation. I'm just going to blend it out with my finger. And I've noticed just by using this blush that it tends to kind of blend out all over the side of your face. So afterwards, I just take my foundation brush that I used. I don't add any extra foundation, I just use what's on it. And I kind of blend around the edges of the blush. You don't have to do this with powder blush, but this Dream Matte or this Dream Mousse blush kind of tends to do this. I'm just going to kind of blend out the edges so that it looks more natural and it kind of looks like you're glowing from within your makeup, which is what you want. You want it to look natural. I'm going to put just a little bit of a lip gloss on because my lips feel really dry. This is the Maybelline Shine Sensational in Mad About Melon. It's a really pretty coral and it smells like melon, which is nice for the summer. That made my lips feel instantly better. Last thing for your face, I'm going to do a little bit of a highlight color, and I'm actually using an eyeshadow for this. This is the Maybelline individual eyeshadow in Champagne Fizz. This is actually not a good eyeshadow. The eyeshadow quality itself is not good. The little sponge just fell out. But this is good for a highlight color. So I'm just going to use my finger, get it on my finger, and I'm just going to apply this on my cheekbones, and that's just going to help add a glow. This is actually really nice. It reminds me a lot of Silver Dusk from MAC, which is a really, really nice highlight color for your face. So you can use this on your eyes if you want, but I find that it's a much better highlight color than it is an eye color. So that is the whole tutorial. Every single thing I used was from a drugstore, even the brushes, which is what you guys have requested. And this actually is the face routine that I've been using lately. So in my last couple of videos, if you guys are wondering what foundation I'm using, it's this stuff. I love this stuff and I love this. This whole routine just works for the summer. It tends to like stay all day and it's pretty and it's full coverage without covering everything. My freckles still kind of show through, so it's a good summer routine. I hope you guys enjoyed it and I'll see you guys later. Bye.